What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 24 realistic rebuild of the LA Chargers. Now, we did do a Chargers rebuild about a month ago with the great Sean Merriman, lights out as our head coach, and that rebuild was all out fire sale. If you were a veteran, you got sold. We traded you away. We got as much draft picks as we can. We did the hit the reset button. We switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Khalil Mack was gone. Kendrick was gone. Bosa was gone. I think, honestly, the only veterans we kept were Derwin James and Keenan Allen, like true Chargers. I don't think they're going to be in a fire sale with Harbaugh. I do not think. I think Harbaugh is coming to the Chargers because he sees a roster that's not that far away. And yeah, maybe we'll let Austin Eckler's contract waddle up. Maybe we'll trade a player or two to try to get maybe some more draft capital. But ultimately, I think Harbaugh looked at this roster and said, that is a roster that I can win with very quickly. And I think that is why we're doing the Chargers here. I don't think there's going to be a bigger head coaching hire this whole offseason. Maybe if Bill Belichick goes somewhere, but that's looking increasingly unlikely as all the other jobs fill up. Harbaugh, the Chargers. I don't know how, Chargers are notoriously not a well-ran organization. This is an outstanding hire. You poached the reigning defending national champion coach in Harbaugh, who has success in the NFL, who has universal success in getting the most out of their quarterbacks, which is going to be very important because that is what is going to be the backbone of this rebuild. We are going to go as far as Justin Herbert will take us. I think you look at this roster very quickly. I think Austin Eckler's going to dip. Hey, there's only a running back from Michigan that Harbaugh knows that's got like 30 touchdowns a year this upcoming draft, and Blake Corum. Tell you right now, hopefully he's going to be available in the second round. I would love to target that. I think we are going to have to ship out one of these wide receivers. I'm going to make Keenan Allen untouchable because that's just a Charger legend. But between Mike Williams and Palmer, and I'm going to be honest, Palmer's Canadian, so I'm going to have a little bit of bias. Mike Williams is probably going to be on the trade block. I think not. We can't give up on Quentin Johnson. We got to continue to develop him. I think stylistically, he's a guy that, kind of fits the profile of the wide receivers Michigan has been having, like the Nico Collins, bigger downfield type guy. I would love to actually get Nico Collins somehow, some way. But I think we got to get him starting reps, in terms of XP, in terms of his development, and commit to that. And him being wide receiver 4 is not going to do that. And I think it might be the final offseason that we could sell high on Mike Williams, get back a good return on investment. So that is kind of what I'm planning on there. But we're going to need a new tight end. We're going to definitely have to fix the right-hand side of this offensive line. We'll run Corey Linsley likely into the ground here until he retires. Left-hand side of the O-line, very good. Slater, 89 starting here for a 5-year rebuild. He could be a 99 when all is said and done. And Zion Johnson should develop nicely there at left guard with the dev trait. But we are going to have a little bit of turnover on the offense, but nothing crazy. Nothing like the first rebuild where we straight up fire saled everyone. Same with the defense. Last rebuild, got rid of Khalil Mack, did we get rid of Derwin? I feel like we eventually did. Got rid of Kendricks. I actually might get rid of Kendricks. I want to see what kind of market there is for Eric Kendricks, just because we have Henley here at linebacker, who does have some upside. I do think the sooner we get him on the field, the better. We do need to decide if we want to re-sign Kenneth Murray, which I think we will, depending on the price point there. But the big thing is going to be here in the 3-4. Can we get sacks? If we're going to commit to a 3-4, and I think that's likely what Harbaugh is going to rock and roll, we need Bosa and Khalil Mack as an X-Factor and superstar, as an expensive X-Factor and superstar. We need these guys getting double-digit sacks. Will they be able to do so? I don't know. I took Tui Pelotu, who impressed this year as a rookie. I put him down at defensive end. One of the most polarizing weights I've seen in a minute. Like, you usually hear with like Kyler Murray and like all these Bryce Young, all these smaller quarterbacks, their weights fluctuating. Tui Pelotu was listed at like 290 at USC, and which, hey, that's a 3-4 defensive end. And then, like, I don't know if it was the Combine or the Senior Bowl that came in, it's like 260. And was like, huh. Interesting. Well, I'm going to act like Harbaugh just said, hey, buddy, just get a bunch of in and outs on me because we need you to play 3-4 defensive end. I just need to get him on the field because the rest of the front three, not particularly good. Definitely an area we want to target. The secondary, definitely want to keep Asante Samuel Jr., but beyond that, not a whole lot of depth. Even though there's a Canadian there in Leonard, probably are going to need to try to target a corner this offseason, this draft, the next draft, somewhere in that time frame. We have Gilman here, who's I'm maybe a sleeper. 81, did not know that. I know he's also up for a contract extension. I feel like it's inevitable that if we re-sign him, he's probably going to go up to a start of next season because he's going to get play a whole lot of reps. But ultimately, not going to be a lot of roster. Like, on the top of my head, I think Mike Williams and Eric Kendricks might be the two players I want to try and see what kind of value we may be able to get. Here's a look at the Harbaugh scheme, what we're going to be rocking and rolling with. In terms of his tree, Vic Fangio defense is connected with Harbaugh, so that is where we're going to look here. We're going to go with, obviously, the Dolphins' defense, because that is Vic Fangio, and we'll just rock a base 3-4, which the team's already a 92% scheme fit. For the offense, the Callahans are connected with Harbaugh, which is the Cincinnati Bengals playbook. That is where I really do think this rebuild is going to become interesting. Because last time we did, it was just Chargers. Chargers playbook's not bad. It's also not elite. Cincinnati is borderline a top 5 playbook in Madden. And I'll tell you right now, a preview, the next rebuild I think I'm going to do is going to be the Titans, because obviously they got the Bengals OC Callahan as their new head coach. And I think putting that playbook with Will Levis and post Derrick Henry down there in Tennessee could be very, very interesting. But here, with the Chargers being able to get Joe Burrow type season, the Bengals playbook can facilitate like ridiculous, like 35 touchdown, no interception seasons. It is one of the more OP playbooks. And I think with the offense that we have, with the playmakers that we have, Keenan Allen, the slot's going to eat. I think you can always have respectable running back number seasons out of this playbook. You can have quarterback proven, consistent MVP caliber seasons. We are going to be setting up Justin Herbert for the best possible spot for him to go off in this next 5-year period of his career and to become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, which I think at the end of the day, that is the biggest reason why the Chargers went out, backed up the Brinks truck to get Harbaugh, is they believe he can get the best of the Herbert. And if you get the best of the Herbert, you're going to win a whole lot of football games. So with that being said, it is time to get into our year 0 offseason and in the 2024 NFL Draft. Hopefully that is how the Super Bowl rolls. I am anybody but the Niners at this point. I think I would love to see Ravens-Lions would be probably my favorite Super Bowl. If that's the case, I'd probably say go Lions just because let them get their first one. But come on, Ravens, get the job done. You're probably our last hope. I swear to God, if it's a San Francisco 49er, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time, I'm not watching. I'll watch the Usher halftime show. I know 2 Usher songs. Hopefully he plays them. And then I'm going back to bed. That's the worst Super Bowl of all time. So as we start the offseason, this is the first little roster manager. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option. Clearly, I'm Rashawn Slater. I think it's going to be out of an error here for Austin Eckler. It's at that point in time where it's probably going to be best interest for both parties to move on. Very, very surprised. I would have lost a lot of money if you said, does Austin Eckler have a 1,000-yard rushing season? I would have assumed yes. Even understanding that he's always been that dual threat, 1-2 punch in the backfield. And he's a yards from scrimmage guy, like easily 1,000 yards from scrimmage for pretty much all these seasons. Never got a 1,000-yard rushing. But I think, you definitely got to put, I don't want to say he's a fantasy football running back because that's where he does all his work. But, he's been a good player, great player. It's time we get a little bit younger at this time. So looking at the rest of our roster here, we do not have a lot of salary cap. $5.5 million. I think in a perfect way, we could keep a couple of these guys. So we're going to start here. We got Kenneth Murray. We'll see if we can give him a 5-year, 25. That's where we're going to start. All right, I'm trying to just trim a little bit of the fat here on the roster. Start from QB. Nothing really notable. But if there's a shot that I could get a nice little influx of salary, is Michael Davis, $7 million. I don't know how much we actually will save there. I think he's set to be a free agent, but if we could, trim a little fat here around the edges, it might allow us to re-sign Aloy Gilman, not let him hit the open market. 26 years old, 81, homegrown, started from the practice squad and special teams and worked his way up to be a starter, which I think we should try to reward here. That's like the culture I'd like to build. So we have been able to wiggle another $7 million, and I'd rather, give it to him. I'll give you a 4-year. Tight. Hey, we got him. I will say, not my favorite thing starting a rebuild where it's this tight. We're not going to be able to pay the meme Will Clapp. I would love to pay Dicker the kicker, just no money. But, we do have the Herbert and all that stuff. We'll be able to navigate this salary cap. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be able to keep our head above water. But it also needs to be said when you're starting year 0. We're not even year 1 of the rebuild, and you got $300,000 of salary cap. Not a good look. And the first domino has fallen. We are going to send 86 superstar wide receiver Mike Williams, Morgan Fox, depth lineman, and a 4th-round pick this year to the Indianapolis Colts, who need to continue to build a wide receiver room to get the best out of Anthony Richardson. They are giving us a second-round pick this year and a third-round pick next year. I think appropriate value for a guy, Mike Williams, who, if he stays healthy, is one of the best jump ball wide receivers in the NFL. I feel like this might have been a trade I literally made in the last Charger rebuild, but I like it. We're going to send Eric Kendricks to the Commanders. Commanders need a veteran presence in the middle of that defense. They got Stromberg, who is a depth right guard. I see the depth trade. I'm going to be honest. All I see is that depth trade. Got a little bit of ground to gain. 69, not the best starting point. But, like, you give him 1-2 years as a starter, he's still going to be 25. Probably up 75, 25, 75 with a start ev. I can rock and roll with that. And after the Mike Williams trade, it did give us a little bit of salary cap to work with this offseason, and I'm kind of just stuck here. There's two players that I think would be our top targets. One is L'Jarius Sneed. Our secondary is not the best. One is Antoine Winfield, who I would move to corner. He'd be our slot corner. They both have no interest. So they both have a lot of interest from other teams. Where's that put us? Like, look, we're barely even scratching the interest meter there. What about you? I mean, maybe we let that one ride. We'll sim that a little bit. Steed would be a dog. And he goes, okay, goes to Denver. Yeah, it's just... I mean, I would love one corner. Just because I don't think we're going to be able to draft two corners. You know, let's get Ambry Thomas, Michigan Wolverine, right there. There we go. Maybe 75, only 23 years old. Maybe he'll play and find a way to... Oh, my God. How is there still... What are these offers here? How are we paying Ambry Thomas? Because that's pretty much like a rookie. It's pretty much like getting a 75 normal dev rookie. You want to you know you want to come play for Harbaugh. Fucking joke. So take a peek here at the final mock draft to kind of get an idea how the board falls. We are picking at 5, which is an interesting spot because we could go tackle. I don't think I'd go Marius Mims over the given board of players that could be available. But I do think the big question is going to come down to, do we do Brock Bowers? That's a popular mock draft pick for the Chargers. But do we also look at corner? Do we also look at 3-4 defensive end here? Byron Murphy would be a dog. Nate Wiggins would be an excellent pick for us. The last rebuild we did the Chargers, we did go tackle. We did go the tackle route early. I got Joe Alt. It worked out. We ended up winning the Super Bowl. But I mean, I think for me, the big question, because we're going to have our pick at whatever corner we want. The big question is, do we go Brock Bowers or do we go corner? And I think the argument against Brock Bowers is he would come in and be what? The third receiving option on this offense? I assume you're going to have Keenan Allen and either one of Quentin Johnson or Josh Palmer, and then it'll be Brock Bowers at tight end. I feel like you go Brock Bowers in the first round if he's going to be your second guy. If he's going to be your first guy, not your third guy. Because we can get... there's going to be a big tight end next year out of Michigan. Loveland. I think in my class, he's the number 1 or number 2 tight end in that class. I think he's number 2 behind Mason Taylor of LSU. So we could target maybe a tight end next year, get a corner this year, and it could all work out. I don't know. We'll see. The board has fallen, and at pick 5, the Chargers up on the clock. What do we want? We got pass rusher, which that would be Dallas Turner would be an awesome pick, but do we want our first round pick really sitting for a year behind Khalil Mack? Do we even know if our edge rushers are going to get sacks here in LA? That'd be a wasted pick. Even Dallas Turner ends up being a 99 X factor. If this is just a scheme that will never facilitate sacks, it's going to be a waste. We got Brock Bowers. We get J.C. Latham at tackle. Jared Verse is there. I'm leaning Nate Wiggins, if I'm being honest with you. John Newton would be a dog on that front, but I think corner is such... Like, we do not have a corner 2. We do not have a corner 3. So we have a chance to get the best athlete at corner, 6'2", prototypical, height, weight, speed. I don't think we overthink this one. I think we go top corner available. We bring in Nate Wiggins, 6'2" with 95 acceleration, 94 jumping, 94 speed, 92 agility, hidden dev, and we worry about the rest later. Now I have a clear target here for pick number 5. We have 5 and 14 in the second round. Maybe we wait on 14 just a little bit there. Sanders is still there at tight end. That could be something. What do we get at tackle? I don't think my biggest need would be right tackle. I would love to find a way. We missed the boat there, I think, on a right tackle, on an offensive tackle. So if we're gonna pivot, so if we're gonna pivot now, let's look at. We could go corner again. Kool-Aid McKinstry's still there somehow in the second round. Just say screw it and then just fix our corner issues. That's probably the best pick we could make right now. I'm going to do it. Why not? Let's get 2 dogs in this secondary, baby. And then at pick 14, this pick is always plug and play. I was always going to make this selection. And that is going to be Blake Corum, the man that is proven to get a trillion touchdowns under Harbaugh. Unfortunately, no dev trait, but that's fine. He's going to be a day one starter. He's going to be put in a great position to just burn up through dev traits very early in this rebuild. Try maybe Kate Stover here at tight end in the third round. Enough that, like, we can't get Loveland next year if he's too expensive. Maybe we try, and I wish there would have been a dev trait there. Obviously, we got to make some mods to his appearance. So a recap of our 2024 NFL Draft. I feel pretty good about it, especially being able to really retool our corner room in one draft. Nate Wiggins at pick 5 in the first round, 76 with a hidden dev. Kool-Aid McKinstry at pick 5 in the second round, 74 with a hidden dev. We got Blake Corum, even though there's a normal, I think we are very optimistic about what he's going to be able to do here under Harbaugh in the NFL. Cade Stover, with a little bit of wet fire with no depth chart, but still 73. It's not bad. That actually might be our highest rated starter at tight end over Parham. Got Nazir Stackhouse, a nose tackle out of Georgia, 70. 65 for Rucker. Keegan, getting some Michigan, another Michigan up there on the offensive line. We got Kamal Haddon with the final pick in the 7th round, 70. Pretty good value, all things considered. Very happy with that. I mean, the only way this thing would have been better is maybe Blake Corum got a dev. But other than that, very happy with this role. Great start to this rebuild. I love seeing this from Keenan Allen. Immediately wants to work with Josh Palmer, who needs to step up with Mike Williams. No longer in the building. Taking him under his wing. We get a nice +2 release, +2 medium route running. Also got a training camp standard. I'm going to guess Tuipulotu. Kenneth Murray. I like it. We'll get some tackle boost here. He's going to need to step up. No more. Kendricks needs to take everything he learned from Eric Kendricks and be that new dog, that new leader with him and Henley in the middle of the defense. So here's a look at our starting point here. Year 1 for the Jim Harbaugh-led Los Angeles Chargers. On the offense, we have Ricky Strongberg, who we got in the Kendricks trade, is going to start at right guard. Cade Stover, 3rd-round picks. We get the start at tight end for the time being, but I do think that's still a position we want to address. Our wide receiver core is going to be Palmer, Quentin Johnson on the outside with Keenan Allen in the slot, Herbert under center, and big expectations that we are going to be able to get Blake Corum off that normal dev sooner than later, be it just in-season development trade increases or because he's going to be a baller and he's going to put himself in the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation. Defensively, we already talked about Tuipulotu on that D-line. We got Nazir Stackhouse, was a nice little value pick for us at nose tackle. He's actually the highest rated nose tackle we have, but we're still hurting a little bit. Linebacking core, Mack, Bosa, and Murray. We're going to give Henley an opportunity. We'd love to see him get a dev trade increase. Potentially, Derwin James, Gilman at safety looks good. Asante Samuel and the 2 rookies, Nate Wiggins and Kool-Aid McKinstry at corner. I think we got a very underrated secondary. And as long as we can find a way in this 3-4 to get some sacks, I think the rest is going to be history, and we're going to be very, very good sooner rather than later. We might even, I could see double-digit wins here this year because I think myself, I think Charger fans, I think the Charger front office believes that by getting Harbaugh, you're going to see success almost immediately. And I think Herbert's good enough to do it. At the midway point of the first season, 5-2. We're staying pace with the Chiefs. Broncos there as well. Offense is top 10. Passing offense is elite. A little worried about the rushing offense. Want to see Blake Corum get it going a little bit more. Defense also not great, especially investing 2 first-round picks to have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. A little bit of a bummer. So we might not be able to go full 5 years with this Vic Fangio scheme. We got to do what's best for the team. But we'll start here with the secondary. We know, I don't think it's a talent issue, so we're going to start with Asante Samuel. We'll get him locked in for 5 years. We got Keenan Allen. We need him to be here till he retires. Need his veteran leadership. Still a monster in the slot. I wish there was a little more interest on both these guys. We got Josh Palmer, who I think can definitely be a valuable... I think that's a trio I'd like. Palmer, Johnson, Keenan Allen till the wheels fall off. I'd love Khalil Mack back on a 1-year deal. But the interest is kind of low on both those players, but I remain interested in wanting to keep them here. So maybe we'll come back at the end of the year, and that interest meter will go up. So we're still maintaining pace with the Kansas City Chiefs, but look at this. Week 10, Week 9, back-to-back Player of the Weeks for Justin Herbert, who's balling. Which means when your quarterback will ball back-to-back weeks, a breakout scenario is up for grabs. And if we can get a nice little X factor in season, in-season devs always feel a little bit better than getting those little bumps at the end of the year. So he needs to go out against a tough Cleveland Browns defense and show what he can do. We also got Trench Boost, which is one of probably my favorite scenario, because you're always getting some XP for your offensive line. And I mean, given the state of our offensive line, you know, Slater can always use more XP. Stromberg at guard, Zion Johnson at guard. All those guys can always use a little more XP. Wow, it's actually for the D-line? I've never seen the inverse of that. Okay. Shame on me for assuming the identity of that breakout scenario. We lose. I'm not even going to open the Herbert one because there's no way we hit it. But defensively, I would love to see some sort of XP. Back-to-back games without allowing... What? Oh. I missed... Okay, so it was no sacks. And I'm usually getting the ones that gets rush yards. You know, you get different little thresholds you can get to get XP off rush yards. That is huge. Everyone on the O-line get 10K? This. 3 points, 2 points, 2 points. God damn. So we had a couple wins, couple losses. 8-5. Lost to the Saints, which was rough. Lost to the Raiders, which was rough. Winnable matchup here, though, against Pittsburgh, who is a nightmare. So we got no sacks for Watt. 1 win on the year. We get another breakout scenario this year on the defensive line for Tui Pelotu, who's been a doc. And I'm happy that he's thriving in his new position. Back up and weight a little bit to where he was at USC. 290 pounds. Can he get it here against a lifeless 1-12 Steelers squad? We get the dub, which is important. A little bit of a wet fart there. So we lose, and we're starting to look like, are we going to make the playoffs or not? We get a breakout scenario for Blake Corum, which is huge. Like, one of my absolute goals here, outside of obviously making the playoffs, going on a run, Cinderella run, was as soon as we saw Blake Corum, who we didn't want to be a pivotal feature part of this offense, especially with Harbaugh and the connection there. Get him off that normal depth. So he's a chance in season here to have a hell of a week. Ooh, we get the dub. 28-21. I don't think he got it. And the reason why I don't think he got it is because I'm going to guess Justin Herbert got player of the week, because he's been the only guy that's been able to do so. And he would have done that by throwing the football a lot. And that's what we got. Oh, in the battle of two 10-6 teams, playoffs potentially on the line, we beat the Raiders 35-16 at home to go second place in the West and sneak into the playoffs for the first year of the Harbaugh era. Wild card round against the Jags coming up. Okay, I feel good. Feel limber about all this. Let's take a look at the stats. Pretty good year for Herbert. 5th in yards, 4th in touch, playing like a top 5 QB. 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 8 picks. We got 1,000 yards, 13 from Corum. That could be good enough to get Rookie of the Year, depending on where the quarterbacks got drafted. Keenan Allen thrived in the slot, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, getting better with age. 969 for Quentin Johnson. That's a hell of a bounce-back year after a terrible rookie campaign. 9-7 for Palmer. I mean, we were very close. We are flirting with 3,000-yard receivers, and if we can facilitate that at least more often than not through this next 4 seasons, there's going to be no complaints out of me. Defensively, I don't even want to look at the sacks. The sacks are going to suck ass, man. You already know what you're getting with the sacks. Hell of a year from Kenneth Murray. 128 tackles, 6 TFLs, 2 sacks, 1 pick. The sacks, I mean, not great for the talent. Like, you want to see, I mean, that's reasonable for Khalil Mack at this age. Bosa, you'd love to see double digits, but it could also be worth. That could be 4 or 5 sacks. I've seen that. 11.5, 18 for Tuipulotu. Goddamn cheat code down there. 4 picks for Henley, 3 for the rookie Wiggins. McKinstry got a pick, got on the scoreboard as well. Nothing for Asante Samuel Jr., which is a little disappointing. Yearly awards MVP goes to Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, just outside the top 5. Cool. Offensive rookie goes to Blake Corum. He beats out Caleb Williams. That is what you love to see. Nate Wiggins, number 3. Stackhouse 6, McKinstry 7. I mean, we did play a lot of rookies this year, but I love Blake Corum. I don't know, like that. You know, he was on the cutoff. He had a good year, but he didn't have a great year. If you don't have a great year, you can't expect to walk into an award. But very, very happy with that. That is awesome. That is going to be likely, especially given the fact that he's a normal dev. We will be finishing with Blake Corum at a star dev at worst, which is nice. But for now, we got to work on and focus on the team success here. Opening game of the Harbaugh playoff here against the Jags. Can we get a win? And we do. 28-21. Barring a Cinderella run, that's all you can ask for. I think one playoff win to start the Harbaugh era. Good enough threshold for me. Herbert played well, for sure. Wow, no real other standout performances. Teron Walker had a hell of a game. 3 sacks there. The former number 1 overall pick. But we're able to go to the next round, the division round, taking on our divisional rival in the Vegas Raiders, who we split the series 1-1. Max Crosby is an animal this year. 18 sacks. We have a better offense. Our defenses both are a little bit average. With the AFC Championship game on the line. Wow, what an ugly game. 13-12. Played in 1940. In black and white. Ugh. We lost to Baker Mayfield, bro. Wow, man. Max Crosby took that game over. Damn. The Raiders went on to win the Super Bowl 24-14, which puts a little more pressure on the rebuild. They beat us. Look at Jack Jones. 1 point. Was that the guy with the gun problem in New England? I can't remember if that was him or not. But at 1 point, you know, on the Patriots, goes to join Antonio Pierce, high school coach, Super Bowl MVP. Looking at our squad, we got the X Factor for Justin Herbert. The upgrade from superstar to an X Factor. Playing like a top 5 QB, which you love to see. He's thriving here in this offense. We got the star dev upgrade on Blake Corum after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. No dev trade request for Keenan Allen. He's playing great, but sometimes the age can throw a wrench into things, but he maintained, which is really, really nice. And I mean, everyone else, I mean, I'm happy with the other wide receiver production. I don't think really anyone played themselves into a dev trade. On the defensive side, Tuipulotu, who missed his dev trade in season, had a ridiculous year, got rewarded with a new star dev. We did lose the X Factor on Khalil Mack, but we did gain a star dev on Henley here in the middle of defense with Kenneth Murray. No dev for Gilman. Hidden dev for McKinstry. Nate Wiggins. Superstar. Let's go. Probably should update. I'm going to go update his appearance here a little bit, but superstar dev out the gate. Let's go. With a nice influx of cash here, 53 mil. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option of Zion Johnson, who's developing nicely. Khalil Mack went from having no interest in the squad to taking a gigantic pay cut to remain here for 1 more year, which I absolutely appreciate. So that gives us a little more wiggle room with Palmer, who has no interest in staying here. I'll up his offer a little bit. If he doesn't want to stay here, doesn't want to stay here. If he does, though, Canadian bias, come on. Bring it in. You can get 1,000 yards here. I feel like you can. I believe in you. So we have a little bit of pocket change here for free agency. Looking at the positions of need. 1 is tight end. I mean, I feel like draft at this point. That's not bad, but he's 28. I need a tackle. Someone that can go and play at right tackle for us. Is there a right tackle? Show me a right tackle. We're looking for a right tackle. 555, 55, 55, 55, gone. Sold. No one. No one. All right. I mean, Spencer Brown's not bad, but again, you're just getting in the area of like draft one. Let's draft one. First couple rounds of this upcoming draft. Let's look for it. I think we need a 3-4 defensive end pretty badly. Do we have at least one of those? Just give me someone that's like 27 that can play. We got Milton Williams. It's a little expensive, I'm going to be honest with you. Menahu, he's a dog, but not a great scheme fit. Ugh. Brutal. Well, looks like we're going to keep our money this year. All right, so we're now in the 2025 draft. We're going to wait a little bit to pick 26. No idea what the board's going to look like there. But I don't really want, I'm not in a spot where I want to trade up. But we're looking for tight end. I'd love Colston Loveland to be there. Nice little Michigan dog. He's gone. Okay, so I'm going to use this next 30 seconds to explain what happened. I'm not being truthfully honest. Yesterday, today's Saturday morning. Yesterday, I spent all day recording this exact rebuild. And for whatever reason, my microphone was not on. And I didn't realize till I put the video in the editor that there's no audio. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to re-record it. So I did kind of learn from my mistakes a little bit. Year one, yesterday's rebuild that doesn't exist. I stuck with Mike Williams for too long. Quentin Johnson didn't develop. I did get Blake Corum. Corner, I think I went Nate Wiggins. I think I followed the same draft last year. This year, though, I traded up to get Colston Loveland. But I'm going to give you a spoiler. Actually, I don't want to give you the spoiler. But great player. Didn't make a goddamn dent on our team. Was not important. Like, there's tight ends don't eat in this system. Let's just put it that way. So even though it was great to bring another Michigan Wolverine on, keep the theme of the rebuild, wasn't that beneficial. We desperately need tackle help here. And we got Francis Mauaoga, 3 Bs and an A, elite strength, and we're going to get ourselves a right tackle here with 97 strength. We're going to get ourselves an absolute dog, and we're going to protect. Because why did we lose our playoff game? Why did we lose that 13-12 or whatever that ugly score was? Because fucking Max Crosby had 8 plays beyond, I think he had, 4 sacks, 4 TFLs. This is our solution. You got to build an O-line, protect Herbert. Let's get ourselves another Michigan Wolverine on that D-line. Kenneth Grant, who's an absolute dog for the Wolverines. Get a nice little depth trait. There's our day 1 nose tackle. We also need a 3-4 defensive end. So in the 3rd round, who's the better athlete? Between Caleb Banks, Florida Gator, has A power. Great size for this spot. 6'6", 320. Good athlete for that size. What is Amari McNeil? Has A finesse, B double C. We got it. I don't even need a corner with the fact that there's still a Michigan corner that's just not getting drafted that looks clearly great, staring us in the face. We'll get a Morian Walker, who's an outstanding athlete, made the Bruce Feldman's freak list. 6'3", 94 speed, 93 acceleration. Great depth for us in the secondary. So take a look at our draft recap. Very happy with how it came, at least in terms of dev traits. The ratings, not brutal. Walker, 73. McNeil, 6. Yeah, that's not the best. But Grant, 71. That's going to be a day 1 starter. The tackle, 73. Hidden dev. I will take that role. We got Matlack there at DN. We got Cade Klubnik as a nice little developmental quarterback. Not a bad draft. Not a bad draft. Even though it's a realistic draft, I'm excited to get into now some final 3 Madden generated draft classes because that's where I can really dominate and do my work and get a bunch of X factors. Start off with another year. Keenan Allen wants to take... Oh, never mind, it's the glitch one. That doesn't give you fucking anything. Thanks, Madden. Fix that. Hey, it's been an issue for 3 Maddens now. In year 2, very similar to year 1. When we talk about contracts around midway, we are right there. Neck and neck with the Kansas City Chiefs. 5-2. Coming off a big win over the Texans, 35-30. With Justin Herbert. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, a baller performance. We actually had a Nate Wiggins player of the week as well. Back in week 3, 2 picks. Love seeing that from our first round pick in this rebuild. But let's sim this one quickly. Actually, let's set our national scouting focus. I actually think I forgot to actually line up my scouts, which kind of sucks. We need... I guess let's go outside line. We need like an edge. I feel like we could go 3-4 defensive line and get a 3-4 defensive end still. But I'm going to guess this is going to be Khalil Mack's final year. And we do not have an edge rusher unless we want to move Tui Pelotu back. But I think he's settled on that D-line. Let's sim this matchup here against Kansas City. See who right now, at least in the season, who's the best team in the West. They beat us 2 weeks ago. And we pull back and split the series. 35-21. A great game from Herbert. Very much appreciate that. He's probably usually two player of the weeks gets you a breakout scenario, which, I mean, that was already an X factor just for a gigantic boost of XP. Let's look at some contracts here. We didn't spend in free agency, so it gives us a lot of money to roll over with $94 million. We're going to start out first with Rashawn Slater. Well, I'd love to see get 99 overall. Honestly, pretty reasonable contracts here. We'll pick up the 5th-year option there for Quentin Johnson. Pick up a one, like, you know, I think we can go double 1 year. Corey Lindsey, he wants a little bit more money, which is a little bit of a bummer. But like Khalil Mack, if they retire at the end of this year, we just take that money and spend it in the open market. But they're both still very serviceable starters. Bosa got okay numbers. He's not never really gonna justify this price tag, I don't think, in this sim. But you can do a lot worse than him, and that's not insane amount of money to kind of have him for the remainder of this rebuild. So with $25 million remaining, would like to get Lindsey signed for 1 more year so we can just kick that can down the road of having to bring in a new center. But won't be the end of the world if we had to get younger here this offseason and the interior of our O-line. Or, hell, even Ricky Strongberg can kick into center if, say, we find a guard in the draft. We got ourselves a little bit of a breakout here. Going into our Week 11 matchup against the Eagles, it is a Sante Samuel Jr. Eagles are a tough assignment, though. We fall 21-4. I'm a little worried. I feel like this has been so far, as we missed the dev trade, a year where very much we beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and we're losing to the teams that we would see in the playoffs. We finished strong, winning 3 in a row to close out year 2 with a dominating Week 18, 40, almost 50 mob against the Lions, but no player of the week. It's kind of bizarre. I don't know. I would say it must have been a defensive touchdown, but maybe not. Usually that would get you a player of the week performance on the defensive side of the ball. But we do win the AFC West 12-5. The Chiefs are always right there. But looking at our squad, number 2 offense in the NFL, defense, everything outside of the rank is really, really good. Happy with those numbers across the board. Justin Herbert up there in the top 3 quarterbacks. 3rd in yards, 1st in touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He is playing so freaking good right now. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns for Corbin. Solid. We got 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns for the ageless Keenan Allen. Almost 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns for Johnson. Almost 1,000, 5 short of having 3,000-yard receivers here for the Chargers. That would have been badass. Kenneth Murray, 100 tackles. Look at the sacks. 13 sacks, Khalil Mack. 8.5 for Tui Pelotu. 8 from Joey Bosa. Pretty damn good for a 3-4 sim, if I'm going to be honest with you. 4 picks, Wiggins. 3 from Asante. 2 from Derwin. 1 from McKinstry. No complaints. No complaints. Herbert wins the MVP. Let's go. Now that I can say, yesterday's Charger rebuild that never existed, I did win. Actually, I think it might have been year 2. It was either year 2 or year 3. I did win an MVP with Herbert. So, happy that we were able to replicate that just a little bit. Looking at the individual awards here. Herbert wins quarterback of the year. Keenan Allen wins wide receiver of the year. Khalil Mack wins linebacker of the year. An ageless wonder in Khalil Mack. I'll be very disappointed if he does retire going out on top, considering we did just get him for a 1-year deal. We got the gauntlet, though. We start here in the wildcard round against the Houston Texans. Team we played in the regular season, we handle business. Weekly award here, 28-24. In a game that Kenneth Murray, 13 tackles, a sack, and interception, gets Defensive Player of the Week. And let's hope the defense can maintain that form as we have the Tennessee Titans in the next round, who are just bang on average. 15th offense, 12th defense. These are the kind of games, though, that get ugly, and you lose ugly. But with the 2nd year in a row, the AFC Championship game on the line, and we are there! The Harbaugh era is thriving. 35-21 we knocked out. There's no Kansas City. So this is an outstanding. There's no Kansas City. There's no Dallas. This is a great roll for a playoff run. Looking at this one here. I mean, not the greatest game. Tua's now in Tennessee, but Herbert, a lot of Corum. Blake Corum played a lot of big games. Big game experience, running back. It's not something you bring up a lot, right? But it's true. Play a lot of big games for Michigan. Keenan Allen, huge. On the defensive side, Tui Pelotu, Henley. We got Sante with a pick. Okay. Hell yeah. AFC Championship game, Justin Herbert against Lamar Jackson, two of the game's best. Like, I would love to think our MVP quarterback is ready to go. But look at the Ravens. 8th offense, number 2 defense in the NFL. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. Can't be too upset either way. And it's the Harbaugh Bowl. Remember? Kind of, not really. But it's like all the teams up there was the Harbaugh Bowl. Back when the Ravens and the Niners. But we beat the Ravens. We're just going through the Harbaugh. We beat Harbaugh versus Harbaugh Bowl. Goes into another Harbaugh Bowl, right? Harbaugh against his old team in the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it'll be at this point, I'm going to put no pressure. I'm not even, it's only year 2 of this rebuild. I'm not even going to say we're going to use our 3 chances here unless things get really shenanigan. My plan is, and I have no intention of this being anything more than just straight sim. I will say, in yesterday's video, which I don't want to keep bringing up because it doesn't exist as far as you guys are concerned, I did not win a Super Bowl here in this setting. We lost. So, and I didn't even make a Super Bowl. I think I made the championship game 3 times, and we lost all 3 times in the championship game, kind of like the Andy Reid Eagles back in the day. But we are here in a Super Bowl in year 2, ahead of schedule with our MVP quarterback, Justin Herbert. Man, oh man, it would be great to be playing with house money for the final 3 years of this rebuild and getting this Super Bowl out of the way for Harbaugh, Herbert, and the Chargers. And this is a personal game for Harbaugh. You know, I definitely think bridges were burned when he left the 49ers. I think it was something with the owner or something like that. So you know this one would mean a little bit more to old Jimmy boy. Come on. We need the guys to play for him. That's what I'm trying to get at. And it's a low scoring first. But look, oh man, how are we not getting points here? There we go, kick the field goal. Of course, we are settling. We are struggling on 3rd down. Got to give credit to the Niners. They have stifled us multiple times. I am so desperate to hop in right now. We've had so many chances to just put this game away. The Niners go for we are going to win a Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl. Let's go. I spent fucking 6 hours yesterday recording this and we didn't win a Super Bowl. Oh, appreciate it. I appreciate it. Especially if you're watching this as a Charger fan, excited about Harbaugh and you want to see just in this fantasy world what it could look like. Yesterday, if I had audio, and I swear to God, it looks like I got audio right now. If I don't, I'm probably going to quit YouTube. 6 hours spent all day. Did not win a Super Bowl. Could not find a way. And we got one here in year 2. So it's not always easy. And it could be the final year we see a Khalil Mack. The final year we see a Keenan Allen. I'm going to put that in my mind right now. Because I think they both retired actually this year. Last video that it didn't exist. So I want to go look at their final stats. Going on top. There's your MVP. There is your golden boy. There is your social media quarterback. Now a Super Bowl champion. Harbaugh has brought in just 2 years a Super Bowl to the Chargers. MVP. Actually, I needed a little bit of a deep dive. Who's getting Super Bowl MVP on this one? Herbert, 250. Right now it's Herbert. Oh, Quentin Johnson, 10 for 100. Bosa got 2 sacks. Khalil Mack, sack and a half. That's a tough one. In this, you probably, it's either going to be Bosa. I'd give it to Quentin Johnson. Let's give it to Quentin Johnson so he can build off of that. Young player. Just in case they retire. Keenan Allen finishes, or well, I don't want to say finish because I want him back for 1 more year. But Keenan Allen's sitting at well over 1,000 yards. Come back for 1 more year, we'll get you 1,100. 13,000 yards receiving, 87 touchdowns. Come back for 1 more year, we'll get you 100 touchdowns. That'll be my guarantee. That'll be my promise to Keenan Allen. Then we got Khalil Mack, a legend. He played for a couple teams, but finishing out here, playing some of his best football with the Chargers. Back up to an X factor after his season. 156 TFLs on a 700 tackles, 120 sacks. What a monster. All right, Keenan Allen, we did enough of a sell job to get Keenan Allen return. But Khalil Mack retires on top as a Super Bowl champion. Thank you for your service, you monster out of Buffalo. We go in with the same needs of free agency, and we're not getting any role. We need a 3-4 defensive end. And surprise, surprise, not one of those exists. We need an edge rusher to replace Khalil Mack. And surprise, surprise, not one of those exists. All right. Hopefully a good draft. I mean, it's not the worst thing when I don't spend big in free agent because it means I can keep all of our guys. And we get a talented roster. We get a Super Bowl winning roster. We want to keep all those guys in place as long as we can. But it is also a little sprinkle of excitement when we can land a big fish on the open market. And through 2 years, doesn't exist. So we go into the draft. You're defending Super Bowl champion, which means you got to wait a whole lot of time. And going into my big board brain right now, 3-4 defensive end. We need a tight end. We need an edge rusher to replace Khalil Mack. Now at pick 32, you don't find edge rushers here. That's just the matter of fact, right? You're never gonna get there's never a round 1-2 projected D end available this late. So could pick through the scraps. Could look, shift our attention on the D line here. There was a couple first round D tackles that looked pretty good, and of course they're gone. I guess. Hey, that's not a bad blind pick. Second round looks to be a nice tight end prospect here. Van Trees Barton, Central Florida, A catching, B route running, A run block. Combine not the best, but you can trust the letter grades on this one. Our kind of last pick in the draft here, Eddie Colombo. Look at this punter. Need a punter, ironically enough. We got B kick accuracy, A awareness, E elite kick power. Thought there might have been a dev trade. That's as good as a punter as I've seen. Feel pretty good about this draft class, all things considered. We got Vernon Grant, who's going to go to DN, 72 hidden dev. Barton, 73 with a hidden dev. Whiff there. Dunlap, we get a 73 wideout in the 4th round out of Florida State. Nice little just depth at that spot. But look, we got a 73 kicker, 74 punter. Hell of a special teams draft. I do want to see you at the top. There was a corner here that was all A's. Anytime you see a corner all A's, you got to, oh, yeah. Going to the Raiders. 84, I'm going to guess X Factor. Anytime you see an 80 plus, I almost, even if I just go to the superstar, it's pretty close. Even if they go in the division, you still are like, good for them. And the guys are balling to defend their Super Bowl title here in year 3. 6-2, sitting atop the AFC West with the #1 offense and the defense where, again, the rank's a little off, but the contents of said rank look very, very good. We're coming off a weekly performance here of Justin Herbert. He's actually got back-to-back Players of the Week, 8 touchdowns in 2 weeks, which is pretty good. Usually that's good enough to roll a dev trade scenario. And in his case, just a XP boost scenario. Let's look at our contract, $51 million. We have Mr. Derwin James. Let's lock him up for the remainder of the rebuild. He's on the fence. What do you mean you're on the fence? Tui Pelotu. I mean, you got to, I think in terms of the rating, not worth that money. In terms of what he's been doing as far as the sim is concerned, absolutely worth that money. We have Zion Johnson. Got him locked to a 3-year deal. Now, here's where it gets a little tight with the budget. Lindsey's probably going to retire. We'll pick the 5th-year option of Nate Wiggins, but I really, in a perfect world, Henley, Stromberg, and Derwin all would come back. We're going to have enough money to likely get Derwin James across the line, but Stromberg and Henley. Henley lost his star dev. Okay, maybe that makes it a little easier if we get that little bit of influx at the end of the year. Maybe we'll throw that towards Stromberg, who still, at only 25 with a dev trait, has some upside for this squad. So at the end of year 3, the Chiefs caught us from behind. We had such a big lead, but we lost a couple ugly ones. Down the final stretch, we go 12-5, second in the West, which is a bummer, but you want a good news? I'll give you some good news. From our last rookie draft class, we have Barton, who was a hidden dev tight end, star dev. Not bad, kind of as expected. How about an X Factor? Vernon Grant, which was very much a blind pick, very much someone I didn't scout. I just took the undersized D tackle that looked like he could move to D end, rolls up, and straight up's like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm an X Factor. Here's relentless. They're not the best ability. Got a long way to go in terms of base rating to unlock more abilities. But that's an outstanding starting point. There's no other way to put it. We got Derwin James re-signed. Hopefully we get a little influx to give Stromberg some money. Then we hit the offseason, looking for a linebacker and stuff like that in the draft. But very happy. 12-5 Chargers finished with a very good defense, elite offense. Justin Herbert, baller. 3rd in yards, 2nd in touchdowns. You love to see it. Blake Corum, under 1,000. You don't love to see that. Keenan Allen, we told him to come back for another year. And look what he did. 94 catches, 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. We got 1,000 for Quentin Johnson. Solid numbers for Palmer and Barton as well. On the defensive side, Kenneth Murray with a respectable year. Sacks down a little bit. But again, this is why we're paying Tuipulotu maybe a little bit more money than his base rating with his star dev. Because he is producing 12 TFLs, 9 sacks. We got 7 from Bosa, 5 from Grant. Definitely feeling the loss of Khalil Mack on this defense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But maybe we got an MVP in Herbert. Oh, he was close. Top 3 in MVP for Mr. Justin Herbert. Barton wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's on a star dev. Could be a superstar. Another weapon for the offense here in LA. Keenan Allen, Wide Receiver of the Year. He can't retire after winning Wide Receiver of the Year. That's the same copium I'm giving my head for Jason Kelce for my Philadelphia Eagles right now. He can't retire after being first-team All-Pro. But our playoff journey to defend our Super Bowl champion here in year 3 starts in the wildcard round against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Are always a tough opponent. We handle business 20-14. Now, this is a matchup I'm a little more worried about. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who also possess, at least in terms of talent, real good on both sides of the ball. We get the dub, man. Our team is another monster. But now we got to figure out in a true battle of titans in the AFC, who's the dog in the AFC West? The Chiefs or us? Kansas City, #1 offense. Their defense, not that great. We have the advantage defensively. We'll upgrade our players here real quick just to make sure we have our strongest freaking lineup possible. Can we get back to the Super Bowl here in year 3? This is the shittiest role. It's the hardest role. It is a role that we embrace, though, because we play them twice a year. Fuck. We got smoked. Sometimes you get smoked as well. And that's what happened. And in my upsetness of losing, I didn't see all the all-time records where Keenan Allen was at, but he would have got his touchdowns. He would have got his yards. Would have rounded up a lot of those categories as he retires after 14 seasons. We appreciate everything you've done. Greatest wide receiver in charge. I know they have like, what was it? Oh, I can't even remember his name. There's like, I know there was a receiver like back in like the 60s or 70s for the Chargers that was a badass. Give me Keenan Allen, all right, in that argument. Niners win a Super Bowl, so maybe their fan base would be maybe a little more tolerable since they haven't had a Super Bowl since what? Since the salary cap was a thing. Can't play. You can't win within the rules, I guess. But hey, shout out to them. They beat the Chiefs. And I'll be honest, as much as we like to go back and forth, Eagle fans and Niner fans, I probably would. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I would prefer it if that was the actual Super Bowl, which could be the Super Bowl this year. I think I want both teams to lose, but I think I hate the Chiefs a little more than I hate the Niners. But I don't know. You know what? I'm thinking also big picture, because if like the Niners win the Super Bowl, that means they're inevitably going to pay Brock Purdy like $200-some million, and I would love for them to be hampered with that gigantic contract for that quarterback. That's a long-term gain. Get them their Super Bowl all the way, so that once they pay Purdy and they can't have the super team around them, it's going to be their downfall. That could be like 3D chess. That is my plan. But we crash and burn here with the Chargers, so get ready for the offseason. With retirements, we did get a very nice bump up in salary cap, $45 million, so we are going to be able to offer Mr. Stromberg a contract extension, get him locked in for the rest of the rebuild. Gives us some stability on the offensive line. Hanley lost his dev trait, which I'm going to take that as a slight towards him. So we are going to let him go. I'm assuming, we got Lindsey here, but again, I think I could draft a center. Not the hardest position to draft. I'm gonna roll over the salary cap, see if we can get an impact sign. We now need another wide receiver for the room. Maybe there's a big fish out there. So I went looking for the wide receivers. Not the role that I was looking for with my nice little war chest that I have here. So other needs that we are looking for on our squad is middle linebacker and an edge rusher. I was like, all right, what do we got at linebacker? It's like, oh, Van Ness. Yeah, not really what I need. Middle linebacker, of course. Oh, shockingly, Henley's the best guy available. So looks like we're not getting anything. There's nothing here that looks... Oh, okay. Let's try. I don't know if we're going to get him. I think it's... What? The Commanders? But Harbaugh! You're like the poster child of the Harbaugh Michigan era. And you picked the Commanders, you fucking pussy. That would have been unreal. That would have been like the perfect one Michigan guy that I could bring that personifies Harbaugh to join Harbaugh that could potentially leave a team because he likes Harbaugh so much. And he fucking takes my top offer and goes to like the third place Commanders. I'm more upset about that than not winning the Super Bowl last year. We're here sitting here crying in the club with our Super Bowl trophy watching the Commanders get our biggest... we just got to move on. I got to find someone better in this draft. And of course, we all know at pick 30, I'm going to find an edge rusher that's better than Aiden Hutchinson. We got Evan Shipp, 6'4", 270, double B, double C. Didn't go to the combine, which gives you that little bit of like, maybe there's something there. Yeah, that's it. So that's our guy. Please be hidden, Dev, at least. Small silver lining. I know your rating's going to suck because you're late first rounder. But there we go. We're a little bit of a Dev trade. If we didn't win that Super Bowl year two, and then, like, say if we lost that Super Bowl, and we lost Aiden Hutchinson, I don't think this video ever sees the light of day. I just say, screw it. It's cursed. Never meant to be. But we handle our business in the draft. We get a outside linebacker here at Evan Shipp. Moving to left outside linebacker. We finally have our Khalil Mack success. Oh, no, he does seem like he might have a rating, though, that would deteriorate meeting off the line, which he does. Then we got a 3-4 defensive line depth in Travis Waters out of Texas. A couple 70-pluses, but ultimately just an uninspired draft class. My board reflects that. And an utter domination. Last year was the Lions. This year, I don't know, we got the Lions number 52-7. Even more than it was. 6 tuds for Justin Herbert, who has got player of the week, week 3, had 5. He wants that MVP. He wants that second MVP. He knows that's what's going to help this team bounce back and galvanize stuff as we're 7-0, undefeated at the bye week here in year number 4. We are a team on a mission. And let's look at some contracts here. We got Blake Corum, kind of the face of the rebuild here a little bit. We also would love to keep Quentin Johnson. Come on. Oh. Take it. Take the deal. There's like $1 million left. Close. Our Juggernaut squad remained a Juggernaut squad throughout. We win our second AFC West title in 4 years. And this is our best team yet. Top 5 offense, number 1 defense in the league. Justin Herbert, 2nd in yards, 4th in touchdowns. Great year. Great year from Corum. Great year from Palmer, who's taken over in that Keenan Allen slot role. So, hey, we got to remember this. Bengals playbook, slot wide receiver eats when we do the Titans, because we'll put, like, I don't know, Treylon Burks or something there. But those are big numbers. Over 1,000 for Quentin Johnson, who, because we are in year 4, we were getting very tight. Obviously, we offer him a pretty ludicrous contract offer. I'll just restructure some of our guys so we can get, our head above water for the final year of this rebuild. Defensively, I got a little cute. I moved Derwin James to one of our sub linebacker spots, so he leads the team in tackles there. 14.5 sacks from Tui Pelotu, who has been an absolute monster. He's been everything Joey Bosa is supposed to be. Bosa has been incredibly disappointing in this rebuild. His best years were average for him. Joe Burrow wins the MVP. Justin Herbert in the top 5. Looking for some Chargers here. Come on. Josh Palmer, let's go from Canada. Wide receiver of the year, which should likely bump him from a star dev up to a superstar dev, which is something that we're lacking, a wide receiver with abilities, because Keenan Allen retired as an X-Factor. He was a game changer, our safety net, our go-to for Justin Herbert, and I'm glad that some combo of guys has been able to step up. We get a very shit roll here in the division round. Hey, you get a first round bye. Yay! But in the division round, you got to play the KC Chiefs. Fuck. We beat them before. We beat them again. 24-21. Suck it, Kansas City. Oh, suck it. Oh, suck everyone. Suck everything. down there. Let's go. We are now into the conference championship against Buffalo. We have the number 11 offense, top 5 defense. We're going to auto-upgrade our players. Just in case, and it's all Josh Palmer here. We'll go deep threat with all of his confidence right now. Very confident. His wide receiver of the year up to a 92 overall. Just got a nice +1 speed. The pride of Josh Palmer. I'm going to guess I couldn't tell you where he's from. He's probably from Ontario, Canada. That seems very Ontario. You're either from Alberta, Ontario, or Montreal. Buffalo, huh? Well, at least we don't have to lose to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Silver lining. And we shift our focus to going all in year 5. And we're going to restructure some other guys, but just to show you that it really only going to take one, we're going to get $20 million extra for Herbert, which that alone is enough to re-sign our guys. But hey, let's restructure a couple other players. Maybe give us a little more wiggle room to bring in a free agent or two. Definitely just put our team in unreal cap hell for beyond this season, but that's not really our trouble. So we gotta handle our business here. We got Kool-Aid McKinstry. We'll get him on a 3-year player-friendly deal, locked in, keep him in the secondary. Gilman, I feel like we might be able to get a safety on the open market. We definitely want to get Quentin Johnson back, so we're gonna just straight up give him a very player-friendly deal to lock in, and we hit the open market, needing now a starting free safety, a starting center, and really any other BPA. Let's get a live look. My first look at this draft class. Center, safety, linebacker, middle linebacker. So we start at center. I feel like I can draft a center. What about off-ball linebacker, like a middle linebacker? Oh my god, that is terrible. Well, you know what? Let's get a veteran presence here. Let's get Dre Greenlaw. He's played a lot of playoff games. We'll kick him inside. We need a safety. Fucking terrible role. At this point, honestly, let's get Gilman so we can run the whole rebuild. I mean, he's been serviceable back there. It's not like I have a reason to move on from him. Just would have loved like a splashy, like give me a guy that was like a 90 there. Doesn't look like the best draft class. Could go Terry and Arnold. He was a safety recruit at Alabama, and move him to screw. We'll keep him at corner. All right. That'll be our draft class, or our free agency class. Dre Greenlaw is the big one that we need. Yes, sir. We get Greenlaw. We get Gilman. For Greenlaw, we're going to move him inside to middle linebacker. And I mean, you know what? I'm not going to... It's just in my DNA. My Madden rebuilding DNA. Just to always despise veterans. But when you're going in year 5, you know, yeah, that's the time you want veterans. All right, so in the 2028 NFL Draft, pick 30, I am looking for a center. Can I find a center? We got a couple first round. Very rare to see first round centers, let alone 2. And I think I'm going to go with this Fowler guy. Damn right I'm going with this Fowler guy. Out of Michigan. Let's go. It ties in. I still can't believe Aiden Hutchinson didn't sign for us. But also our salary cap would have been destroyed. Maybe it was a blessing. You got to feel good finding starters in your final draft, and that's exactly what you get with Tyler Fowler, an outstanding 76 hidden dev to anchor the center of our O-line. After a Super Bowl and a lot of regular season success, it is time now here in year 5 to show our work. This is what we have rebuilt and reimagined the LA Chargers under Jim Harbaugh as we go to try to get our second Super Bowl in 5 years. Offensively, well, we got a new center to really bring the whole O-line together. It's a very good O-line. Drafted a tight end. I mean, homegrown. This is a homegrown offensive line and a homegrown MVP X-Factor quarterback in Justin Herbert, who's playing lights out football. And if we're going to win a Super Bowl here, a second one, it's not going to be on him having an MVP caliber season. The defense feels like a little bit like we're holding the defense together as much as we can by reshuffling all the salary cap and stuff. But the front 3, we get the X-Factor and Grant, who hit on during the draft. Tui Pelotu has been incredible. Got dogged for Dev. He should be, I'm not saying X-Factor, should be at least a superstar. He's been very, very good playing above and punching above his overall rating. And Dev Trade, the linebacking core feels great. especially with the addition of Dre Greenlaw in free agency. Got to give us a little bit of veteran presence there. Derwin, Gilman, Wiggins, McKinstry, and Asante make up the DB room, which is as deep as any team in the NFL. This team is primed to yet again have a top 3 offense, top 3 defense, and primed to go on a Super Bowl run. But it is now time to go prove it here in year 5. And we got a shot here in year 5. Wasn't the clean first round bye, but it is a 3rd AFC West title. It is a 13-4 record. It is a top 5 offense. It's almost a top 5 defense. Appreciating the roster and their individual efforts. Maybe starting to slow down a little bit with Herbert. I actually noticed in yesterday's video that never saw the light of day. Year 5 for Herbert was also his worst year, so that trend continued. Corum was solid. Josh Palmer was solid. A little bit of down year from everybody else there. Defense made some plays. Tua Pelotu, what a stud. What a hidden gem. Tui Pelotu is. Guy's a stud. Go get him. He's a sim stud. Look at the individual awards. We have no Chargers. But looking at the career stats for our Chargers, Justin Herbert just under 40,000 yards passing. 1 tutty shy of 300. He's incredible. Best player we've had in this rebuild on either side of the ball. Corum, 5,600 yards, 59 touchdowns. He's been good. He's been, for a second-round running back, he's been everything we could expect. 7,000 yards, 54 tutties for Josh Palmer, 55 and 38 for Quentin Johnson, who's definitely turned his career around after an all-time terrible rookie season that we just saw and experienced. For our defense, we got 100 sacks on the dot on 125 TFLs for Joey Bosa, who's been, obviously, almost all of that came before the sim because he's been incredibly average. Tui Pelotu has been that guy. 346 tackles, 82 TFLs, 59 and a half sacks. He's everything Bosa was kind of supposed to be. 16 picks for Derwin James, 16 for Asante, 14 for our first-round pick, Nate Wiggins. We got 11 for Murray, 8 for Gilman, 6 for Kool-Aid McKinstry. Really happy with all those numbers. But, we're not worried. We got that Super Bowl year, too. But it is, you never like winning that Super Bowl early and then just having 3 meh years to end the video. We want to go on a run here. We absolutely should be able to handle a 9-8 Vegas Raiders squad to go on a... Guess not. Well, now that this is over, and we get to get our Super Bowl win, I can now reflect on the difference between the video I made yesterday with no audio, but I know the audio because I made it. And today is that yesterday my feeling was we didn't win a Super Bowl, right? So my feeling was the Chargers were like Michigan. Michigan was underperforming until they actually won it all with Harbaugh. And that was still kind of the thing about Michigan. Was like, will they ever get over that hump? And that's kind of what I experienced yesterday. Today, at least we got that Super Bowl. There was a lot of like this team kind of underperformed, I think, when all is said and done, which is the history of the Chargers. Like, since I've been a fan of football, the Chargers have had some of the best rosters, at least offensively, that I've ever seen. Some of their super teams with Rivers and Daniel Tomlinson and Vince Jackson and Antonio Gates, and they had a really good O-line, and their defense had some studs, and they just could never find a way. It was always, I don't know if it was just misremembering, it always felt like LT got hurt in the playoffs, and that kind of just crumbled them a little bit. But Harbaugh's negative kind of aura for the most of his time in Michigan kind of fits with the negative aura around the Chargers. And at least here today, we're able to win one. And I think when all is said and done, I don't know what kind of deal they ended up giving Harbaugh. I think it was a 5-year, 6-year deal, something nuts like when the Raiders gave Gruden like 10-year, $100 million. But whatever it is, if they get one Super Bowl out of it, it's going to be worth the price, even if they have a couple disappointing, underperforming years. That's exactly what we got here today. So that would do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I think the next rebuild I want to do is going to be similar to this, at least offensively, because I really do think what we saw with this awesome Bengals sim offense, you put that in Tennessee, because that's just what happened, right? The Bengals OC went to Tennessee. Try to do the same thing with Will Levis. Try to build that offense around. I think that's going to be a pretty fun idea. So I think that's going to be our next rebuild. But after that, let me know in the comment section below what team you guys want to see. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4. So I'll see you guys back here Monday with another episode of the Honey Hunters. Gonna take tomorrow off, just watching football, hosting a party. But I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.